Hello, my name is Tyler Deering. I am presenting an informative speech about basketball. Basketball, a sport many people know and love. It has become a central attention of the U.S. and international sports. It affects many people's lives by teaching them determination, hard work, and perseverance. I myself have fallen in love with the sport, but I do not know how it came about. Where did it come from? How did it become one of the most popular sports in the world? The answer to this question could not have come without the help of some very bored YMCA students and how they spread the game, which led to the evolution of it as well. I will teach you about the history of basketball as well as how it spread and the evolution of it. Basketball had a complicated but successful beginning. In the winter of 1891, Dr. Gulick was bound and determined to create a new sport for students at his YMCA in Springfield, Massachusetts. In the spring, students played baseball, while football was played in the fall. But during the winter, no sports competitions were held. During these winter months, students and teachers were becoming bored with the monotonous drills and calisthenics. Dr. Gulick decided to change this by asking three men to create a sport that would spark a new fire in students' competitive natures. Info stated by Mark Stewart in Basketball, A History of Hoops. Dr. James Naismith took up the task and created basketball. Basketball required skill, physical contact, and endurance and finesse instead of raw power. Though no official equipment was used, the supplies needed to play was an elevated basket and a ball could be easily found around the YMCA's. Also, any number of students could play as long as the teams were even. The rules did not allow for much scoring. By making players shoot instead of throw the ball, it required new skills that had to be learned and practiced. Players could not move at all while the ball was in their possession. Players stayed in their designated positions on the court, either as a defender, center, or wing. But some of the smartest and fastest players found a loophole by tossing the ball to themselves at fixed locations, although this practice was frowned upon. Many people began to love basketball. Those who played always looked for any opportunity they could to play, even if it meant teaching the game to others, and they did. Within the first year of its creation, more than 8,000 students were playing basketball at over 200 YMCA's. Eventually, some YMCA's became so proficient that no nearby Ys could challenge them. These Ys formed the very first professional basketball league, the National Basketball League, in 1898. Teams paid for their own uniforms, equipment, travel expenses, and practice locations. They also created schedules, charged for admission, and paid players a salary. Aside from pro leagues, colleges also started to form leagues. During the first few years of the 20th century, over 100 colleges organized basketball teams and played regular schedules. In 1904, the first collegiate basketball championship was held at the Olympics. College basketball spread across the country to cities that either knew nothing about basketball or had poor basketball teams. According to the Final Four, also by Mark Stewart, in 1938, the National Invitational Tournament was created and the Oregon Ducks were the national champions in 1939. Basketball even spread across nations. The first country to take up basketball was Canada, followed by France, England, China, and Japan, all by the start of the 20th century. Encyclopedia Britannica Basketball. With the coming and going of World War I, basketball spread even more as soldiers played it at camps in their free time. It was not until right before the Second World War that basketball was introduced to the Olympics, though. To no one's surprise, the U.S. defeated Canada in the championship game in 1936. With basketball becoming a more popular sport, it started to connect people of all nations. The spread of basketball requires set rules and regulations so games could run smoothly while keeping the game safe but still physical. As basketball spread, it evolved repeatedly. The first major rule changes were the elimination of the double dribble and the changing of penalty area to free throws. The biggest game changes were the point system, which hopped from 1 point to 3 points with the invention of the free throw, and then finally to 2 points for every made basket and 1 point for every made free throw. Also, after every score, the two tallest players would go to the center of the court for a jump ball. Official baskets, hoops, backboards, basketballs, and out of bounds help form the base of the basketball. This is my visual representation. It's a basketball. It's one of our older ones. And the old basketballs used to have leather bounding like footballs, about right here. And the leather bounding, if it would hit the rim, it just bounced back. So that's why they made the smooth rounded basketballs like we see today.